Colin, if you're online, can you indicate if you can hear us? Can I just check with IT that we can start the live feed? Thumbs up. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the regulatory section of the Planning and Regulatory Services Committee. Audio recording is being used to assist in preparing the formal minutes. Therefore, anyone participating in the meeting consents to it being recorded and being live streamed on YouTube. So we move to agenda item 1, which is apologies. I have 4 apologies. Councillor Lavery, Vice Chair, is unable to make it. Alderman Wilson is also unable to make it. Councillor Mulholland and Councillor Flaherty will be attending from 4 p.m. Is there any other notable apologies from the floor, members? No. Okay, members, we'll move on to agenda item 2.0, as declaration of interest. We'll just take them as and when they appear throughout our meeting. And we'll hand over to Damien Mulligan for, sorry, Councillor Donnelly. Don't know what happened there. Your name popped up. Okay, that's fine. Okay, agenda item 3 is 2 items for information, and Damien Mulligan, Head of Planning, is to present both of these items.
Thank you, Chair, and good afternoon, members. Members, the report before you relates to the statistical bulletin published by Department for Infrastructure for Q2 of the current business year. It provides an overview of planning activity across all planning authorities and gives information on processing times and performance. You'll note from the report, members, that we were the only council to meet the target for major applications, which is obviously extremely good news for us. And out of 11 councils, we were the 3rd best performer against the target for planning enforcement. Unfortunately, we did miss the target for local applications. However, we are continuing, as you'll know, to make significant progress in that area of work. I'm happy to take any questions or queries, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Damien. Members, any questions? I'm not getting that light on. Just give me 1 wee second, Councillor Savage. Councillor Savage's light is not coming on. That might help, Councillor Savage. Right, try it out. Yep, there we go.
Damien, thanks very much for your report there. Damien, could I ask a question in and around responses from DAERA? Are they having an impact on our ability to hit our targets at the minute? Because I've had some queries from agents in particular around the responses from DARE and the timeliness of them. Is it any concern with the department? Thanks.
None that, thanks, Councillor Savage, none that have been highlighted to me by officers. Now, I know that DARE have allocated a lot more resource to planning consultations over the last 12 months, 18 months possibly, and that response times had certainly improved as a result of that. If there are any individual cases, I'd be grateful if you could let me know which ones they are and we can follow those up. But generally, no, I'm not aware of that being a particular issue at the present time.
Councillor Savage, content with that? Yep. Councillor O'Dowd?
Thank you, Chair. It's just a comment, Damien. Sorry, thank you for that report. And I just have to say, it should go without saying that ABC Council is one of the top councils for this within the 11 areas, because I think all of us would agree that you go above and beyond to help and to do your work. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Councillor O'Dowd. I think, look, that's, a tribute to the department and the team as a whole. I know we have excellent staff who are fully committed to delivering a very good job, and I think the statistics are actually starting to demonstrate that, so I'll forward that on to staff. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And yeah, I think everyone here shares those comments from Councillor Dowd that the work does. It's good to see that being recognised and the work doesn't go unnoticed, and the work behind the scenes is exemplary. Moving on to agenda item 3.2, it's update on planning caseloads, and again, Damien will take that.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Members, this is an update, as the Chair mentioned, on planning caseloads. The number of decisions, as you'll see, that were issued during the month of December was 103. Number of applications received during the same period was 116, which means our live caseload is now 695, which is marginally up on what it was last month, and that's primarily due to the Christmas holiday period. But still significantly lower than where we were at the beginning of the business year. In terms of call-ins, we had 3 call-ins during the month of December, bringing total year-to-date to 25. And then we have the enforcement quarterly report for you, and you'll see from that the current live number of enforcement cases stands at 409. Happy to take any questions, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Damien, for the report. Members, any questions in relation to that? Okay, thank you, members. We'll move on to agenda item 4. That's one item for decision. 4.1 is an item for decision, and Tom Lavery, Head of Building Control, is going to present this report.
Thank you, Chair, and good afternoon, members. This report is providing members information in relation to the IBC conference this year, which takes place on the 12th and 13th of March in Cork. The conference provides an opportunity to network with colleagues and the building control environment and to develop and better understand and learning from the different operating systems. It also provides an opportunity to discuss current and potential forthcoming implications in the construction industry, including changes and developments in regulatory requirements, as well as new technologies in global markets and the implications those have on the construction industry. Members and officers have attended this conference in previous years and found it very informative. Costs are as detailed in the report, and monies are available within the building control budget to cover the recommendation of officers' attendance. The recommendation before officers is that members are asked to approve the attendance of the chair of the committee and or their nominee to the conference, along with officers. Thank you, Chair. I'm happy to take any questions members may have.
Thank you, Tom, for the report. Unfortunately, members, I'm unable to go, so that position is open, and Vice Chair isn't here today. So if you are interested in attending, to reach out to Tom Member Services, and they can sort of assist you with that. Councillor Wilson.
Thank you, Chair. As this is a decision item, happy to propose we accept the recommendation. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Wilson and Councillor O'Dowd.
Yes, Chair, I'm happy to second that proposal.
Okay, members. Proposed by Councillor Wilson, seconded by Councillor O'Dowd on the proposal in front of us. Everyone in agreement, just nod your head to be happy enough. Thank you, members. Agenda item 4.2, it's an update on building control and property certificate application workloads, and again Tom is going to bring us through that report.
Thank you, Chair. This report is to inform members of work being undertaken by the Department over the last 9 months of this financial year. As noted in Appendix 3, in the last 9 months we've received 2,132 building regulation applications with a notional construction investment value of just over 161 million, which both are comparative with the last year. We have also carried out 11,526 site inspections and undertaken 1,454 plan assessments, and issued a total of just under 2,000 statutory notices in that period. The Department also continues to deliver the Council's property certificate function for the convention of properties across the Borough, and in the last 9 months we've received and administered 2,860 new applications, which is actually it's 500 up on last year, so it is still quite a buoyant market in our area. Thank you, Chair. I'm happy to take any questions that members may have.
Thank you, Tom, for the report. Members, any questions in relation to that? Any comments? No. Thank you, members. Members, we'll move on to agenda item 5, correspondence. I trust that you've all received that and have read it. If there's any questions in relation to that correspondence, now is the time to do so to ask. I see no lights, so we're content with that to note. Agenda item 6, confidential report. Can I seek a proposer and seconder to move the meeting into committee? Proposed by Councillor O'Dowd and seconded by Councillor Savage. Thank you, members and online viewers. In accordance with Schedule 6 of the Local Government Act, we will now be moving into a confidential session of the Council. This means we will turn off the public feed of the meeting. This will be returned when the meeting is restarted. Can I ask ICT officers to please turn off the live feed and confirm with me when the confidential section of this meeting can proceed? Thank you. Thank you very much. Agenda item 8, any other relevant business? I have none, and there's none from the floor. So members, will be taking a short recess until consideration of planning applications commences at 4 p.m. So go get a cup of tea, cup of coffee, stay warm, and see you in half an hour. that we are starting the live feed. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Planning and Regulatory section of the hybrid meeting of the Planning and Regulatory Services Committee. Audio recording is being used to assist in preparing the formal minutes. Therefore, anyone participating in the meeting consents to it being recorded and being live streamed on YouTube. Also, during the course of this meeting, questions may be asked by councillors who are members of the Planning and Regulatory Services Committee, of planning officers, applicants for the planning permission, objectors, or those speaking on their behalf. In doing so, councillors endeavour to ascertain the information which they feel is necessary to enable them to determine the application. However, members of the public should note councillors will not reach a conclusion as to whether an application should be approved, refused, or deferred until the debate on the application has concluded. Members, we have 3 items for decision. Appendix 1, Application LA 08-2024-0246F has been withdrawn from the schedule following submission of additional information which required further consideration by officers. So we will start with Appendix 2, and as application number LA 08-2024-1023F, and it is up for approval. Kyle Elder, the Senior Planning Officer, is to present the report and PowerPoint presentation, and I'll hand over to Kyle to bring us through that. Thank you very much.
This plan application seeks full plan permission for the erection of a storage distribution hub, including 2 warehouse units and associated offices, external services and storage yard, car parking, bike stores, bin stores, and all associated site and access works at Silverwood Business Park in Craigavon. The proposed warehouse building and external yard will be used by NAE for the storage and distribution of essential equipment required to maintain the wider NAE network. The application is before you this evening as the application is a major application, and also it attracts an objection from a statutory consultee, NA Water, and is recommended for approval. Officers have taken that members have read the report in full, and as such this is a synopsis only. The application site is located within the development limits of the Craigavon urban area on an area zoned as existing industrial land as defined by map number 5 of the Craigavon Area Plan 2010. Members are advised that officers consider that the development complies with the zoning of the land and the requirements of the area plan. The proposal will fall under Class B4, Storage and Distribution of the Plan and Use Classes Order Northern Ireland 2015. Policy PED 1 of PPS 4 operates the presumption in favour of development such that a development proposal incorporating a Class B4 use will be permitted in an area specifically allocated for such purposes in a development plan. Officers therefore are of the opinion that the proposed Class B4 use is acceptable in principle and that Policy PED 1 is satisfied. 1 building is proposed within this application which would comprise of 2 warehouse units and an office block. The design, scale, massing and choice of external materials are in keeping with other buildings within the wider business park. As such, the development is considered to appear sympathetic with the surrounding buildings in Silverwood Business Park and will not have an unacceptable visual impact and will satisfactorily visually integrate into the immediate area. Officers raise no concerns over the design and layout in relation to SPPS, living places or policy days 2 of a plan strategy for rural Northern Ireland. The nearest dwelling to the site is located at number 34 Ballynamoney Lane, approximately 175 metres southwest of the site. Officers have considered the outward sound level impact assessment and lighting assessment, and following consultation with environmental health raised no concerns regarding noise, light or amenity. As such, the proposal is considered to comply with Annex A of the SPPS and Policy PED 1 of PPS 4 and creates no conflict with the relevant criteria of Policy PED 9 of PPS 4. A transport assessment form has been submitted in support of the application. The proposal seeks to utilise an existing vehicular access on the Eastway. The access to the development is considered to comply with Policy MP2 of PPS 3 and DFA roads have raised no concerns. The development will result in 12 car movements into and out of the site daily and up to 20 HGV movements daily. The TAF notes that staff of the proposed operator can avail of blended working and flexible working arrangements, reducing the impact of traffic at peak times. It also notes that deliveries to and from the site will typically be outside of peak times. The development provides 18 car parking and 21 HGV parking spaces and 8 cycle parking spaces. A strict application of parking standards would require a total of 21 car parking spaces, therefore meaning there's a shortfall of 3 spaces. Parking standard states that for some units parking will be considered on individual merits, having regard to the number of workers, operating patterns, location and proximity to public transport. In this instance, the number of workers at the site is given as 12 to 14 daily and is considered to be low. DFA roads have raised no objections to the parking arrangements, and based on the particular circumstances of this application, the proposed shortfall is considered acceptable in this instance. The cycle and HGV parking arrangements are in keeping with parking standards. Officers in consultation with DFA roads are therefore content that post-development accords with SPPS and policies AMP2 and AMP7 of PPS3, criterion G, H and I of policy PED 9 of PPS4 and parking standards. A drainage assessment has been submitted, an attenuated drainage assessment consisting of large diameter pipes is proposed. DFA rivers have raised no objections but have requested a final drainage assessment which has been conditioned. Overall, in the flooding and drainage context, officers consider there to be no conflict with SPPS, the policy provisions of PPS 15 revised, and criterion D and F of policy PED 9 of PPS 4. NI Water in its consultation response advised that an assessment has indicated that there are capacity issues and this establishes a significant risk of detrimental effect to the environment and detrimental impact on existing properties. NI Water note that the downstream catchment is constrained by overloaded sewage infrastructure, including one or more downstream unsatisfactory intermittent discharges, which is causing a negative impact to the environment. These discharges are recorded at a common embankment which discharges the Closet River. In keeping with Appeal Reference 2021/0231, confirmation has been provided from the agent that an engineering solution for the disposal of wastewater can be found. Accordingly, in line with this appeal decision, officers have recommended the inclusion of a negative planning condition prohibiting the commencement of any development until a wastewater impact assessment confirms that a sewage connection can be made or that alternative provision for disposal of sewage is made and this is submitted to and agreed in writing by the Planning Authority. This would ensure that any concerns in respect of sewage capacity are properly addressed before the development can proceed. The impact of the development of features of natural and built heritage and contamination have been considered. Officers in consultation with the competent authorities in these matters have not identified any concerns. The use of solar panels is also deemed acceptable. Members are advised that no objections have been received regarding this plan application. So overall, officers consider the proposal to comply with the local development plan, the policy requirements of SPPS and all other relevant planning policies, and on that basis approval is recommended for the reasons outlined in the report and subject to the conditions suggested in the report. I'll just take you through the PowerPoint presentation. Okay, so the site's within Silverwood Business Park, which is to the west or northwest of Lurgan Town Centre. This is the site location plan, so hopefully you'll be able just to see the site outline in red with towards the south of the business park. Next slide then is just an aerial view of the site. So we've just highlighted in red the section of the site to be developed. So currently the site's predominantly laid in loose stone, but it's within the grounds of the wider Silverwood Business Park. Immediately south of the application site is the railway line, and south of that is a Halfpenny Valley Industrial Estate, which is currently under development. This is just an extract from the area plan, so you can see the red dot represents the site, which is an existing industrial land. It's just a site layout, so you can see the proposed buildings located towards the northeast of the application site, and the building itself is in close proximity to the other buildings on the site within the surrounding yard. It's just the floor plan, so within the complex there's 2 units and an office. It's just the elevations, and then just some of the cross sections just to show the building in context with existing buildings on the site. These are just some of the fencing details, followed by the bike store, and then that's followed by the bin store. So it's just the first photograph then. So it's facing towards the northeast of of the site, so you can see this site's predominantly laid in stone, and the proposed building will be located towards the left there, up in close proximity to the buildings in blue. Next slide then is facing southwest across the site. So again, you can just see there that the site's relatively flat, and you can probably see the buildings to the side there. The one that is blue is actually another one of the NIE buildings that's on the wider side. Next slide then is facing to the southeast. So that's the southernmost boundary of the site in the distance. So it's defined by a fence, and then the trees are beyond the application site, and the railway line beyond that. In this then photograph just facing south, you can see to the right of the photograph, you can see the existing westernmost boundary of the site. So just beyond that fence is actually another yard area used by NIE, used to store equipment such as transformers. And then the photograph then, our application site's just on the right again on the stones, and that's just the existing roadway and concrete that will be used to access the development. And then the final image then is just a Google Street View image of the site entrance. So you'll note that there's a right-hand turning lane off Eastway into the application site, and then exiting the site, there's a left-hand and right-hand turn lane as well. And that access is considered to be of appropriate standard, and no works are proposed to that access in this application. Thank you.
Thank you, Kyle, for the report and presentation. I also forgot to note that Tom Stokes from TSA Planning is in attendance and has speaking rights for clarification purposes only. Members, any questions in relation to this application? Councillor Savage.
Thank you very much, Chair, and Kyle, thanks for your report. Chair, it's maybe you've got Tom Stokes from the consultants. Could I just ask him in and around the solution to the wastewater issue? From the report, it seems that they're confident that it will not prevent this investment going ahead. Could I just have some thoughts from him on what the potential solution is?
Okay, Tom, I'm just going to bring you in here. Just make sure you can hear. We can hear you. Tom, go ahead. Oh. Tom, if you just press the button again yeah, I'll bring in.
That us. Thank you, Councillor, for the question. Through the chair, yes, we're in the engineers are in advanced discussions with NI Water. We've already submitted our wastewater impact assessment, and we believe the solution is going to be some storm separation from the combined sewer. So we're very confident, hopefully early this year, to have a solution to that. And a note that there's a condition, obviously, that the officers have recommended in terms of condition 2, just to secure the final agreement to that solution prior to works commencing on site. But we're very confident that works should commence on site later this year.
Okay, thank you, Tom. Councillor Savage, content? Yeah. Councillor O'Dowd, do you have a question?
Thanks, Chair. Mine was just something on the same line as Councillor Savage. But can we make sure, we've been through this before, that there's been conditions put in place, but builders have went ahead and started building before the conditions were met? Can we just make sure that the conditions are met before any building takes place?
Yeah, I'll just bring in Kyle Elder to answer that for you.
Yeah, we've been very clear with the agent on this, that condition would be implied in this circumstance, because obviously we need to protect the environment. If any building work was to take place prior to that condition being discharged and the council being satisfied that it's been appropriately discharged, then that would be liable for enforcement action, and we'd be able to take action to our enforcement team if that was the case.
Thank you, Kyle, for that response. Councillor Dowd, are you content? Okay, members, I have no other lights on for questions. Members, we're open to debate stage on this. Any comments in relation to this application? I have no lights indicating. Okay, members, there's a decision on the table. We need a proposal of some description. So can I invite you to make a proposal? Councillor Duffy.
I propose we accept the officer's recommendation.
Thank you, Councillor Duffy. And members, this proposal by Councillor Duffy. Do we have anybody to? Councillor Savage.
Thank you, Chair. I'm content to second Councillor Duffy's proposal.
Okay, members, proposed by Councillor Duffy and seconded by Councillor Savage. Are we all in agreement in relation to that proposal? Yep. Thank you very much, members. Sorry about that, members. Thank you. Members, we're going to move to Appendix 4. I think we're just having a bit of technical difficulties with the speaker that's lined up for that one. So we're going to move to Appendix 4. It's application LA 08 2024 0551 RM, and it is for approval. We'll hand over to Nicola Craney, and we'll bring you a wee bit earlier. Just let me know whenever you're ready to go, and we'll fire away.
Thank you, Chair. LA 08 2024 0551 RM, it's Reserved Matters for Mullantine Road. This is Reserved Matters planning application for a dwelling and a garage. The principle of development is established as the site was granted outline planning permission under LA 08 2020 01930. It's being presented to committee as the applicant is related to a planning officer. The recommendation is to approve, and there's no objections or representations. As a Reserved Matters application, this permission seeks approval for access, siding, layout, design and landscaping for the new dwelling and garage. The main determining issues are set out in the planning report. The design, layout and landscaping are considered to integrate into the site and would not, in officer's opinion, impact the rural area. In terms of access and parking, DFI Roads in their response stated they have no objection to the access proposed. Impact on residential amenity, given the orientation and separation to nearby properties, this is also acceptable. And impact on built and natural environment, a biodiversity checklist has been submitted and there are no issues of concern. And without prejudice, conditions being provided to deal with sewage disposal, which is a policy under CTY 16. The recommendation is to approve, and I can go through the PowerPoint presentation. So this is the site. It's just to the west of Portadown. This is just an aerial view of the site, and you can see just its location. This just is a site location plan. This is a view towards the site. This is then a view at the access area then towards the site. A view then from the access point then just looking towards the south end on the roadside. A view then from the roadside to the north. Just you can see the access point again. And this is the property adjacent, which this application was approved under farming need. Next slide, please. This is site layout plan. Next slide. This is the elevations, floor plans, the garage plans, and then the entrance details are the final. So this proposal complies with all of the requirements of the outline permission and all of the conditions which were provided at outline, and this application was presented to members at outline stage 2 planning committee at the time. Thank you.
Thank you, Nicola, for the report and presentation. Members, any questions in relation to that? Okay, I have no indicators to speak. Members, to move on to the debate stage, any comments in relation to this application? Okay, and again, I have no indications to speak. Members, this is a decision item. I need a proposal of some description on this application, so over to yourselves. Councillor O'Dowd.
Thanks, Chair. I'm happy enough to propose the officer's recommendation.
Okay, and Councillor Duffy.
Yes, I'll second that.
Okay, thank you, members. So we have a proposal from Councillor O'Dowd to approve this application and seconded by Councillor Duffy. Are we all in agreement, members? Okay. Thank you very much, members. Just bear with me 1 wee second. Are we ready to go? Yeah. Members, we're going to move on to Appendix 3, LA 08, 2023-2138F, and it is for approval. Trudy Chapman, Senior Planning Officer, is going to present the report and PowerPoint presentation. The following are also in attendance and have speaking rights for clarification purposes only, and that's Ian Lenihan from Lenihan Design. So I'm going to pass over to Trudy and bring us through this report.
Thank you, Chair. This application relates to the erection of 2 commercial units located adjacent and to the rear of 48 and 50 Market Street, Tandragee. The application is before members this evening as the Council has an interest in the land. Members are advised that the access to the site is over a private lane owned by the applicant. However, the Council's local amenity site has a right-of-way over this lane. The application site is located within the settlement limit of Tandragee and is located to the rear of Market Street, which is the main street running through the town. The applicant has confirmed that the use of the structures will be Class B2 as defined to the Schedule of Planning Use Classes Order 2015. Use B2 relates to light industrial uses, which the legislation states as including any industrial process which can be carried out without detriment to amenity by reason of noise, vibration, smell, fumes, smoke, soot, ash, dust or grit. Members are advised that the area plan does zone land within Tandragee for industrial use, and while this application site is not located within this zoned land, paragraph 50.3 of the plan states there may be scope for small-scale industrial development on other areas throughout the town if such development can be shown to be compatible with the existing development, such as housing and shopping. As such, officers are of the opinion that the area plan does not preclude principle of small-scale industrial development outside the area as zoned. Officers have considered the application and given this location within the settlement limit, and by the definition of B2 use is considered to be compatible with residential development. Officers are content that the proposal complies with planning policy. Members are advised that there were 5 objections from 3 addresses, and the points raised have been detailed and considered in the report circulated. Officers are of the opinion that the proposed development complies with the area plan and all other relevant planning policies, and as such recommend the application be approved subject to the conditions in the report and the previously circulated addendum. I'll just take you through the presentation, please. So this is the location of the site within the general area, and that's our site location plan. You'll see that the access is from Madden Road. It's had to go the whole length of that because that's where the adopted road network actually starts. The next slide, please. So this is an aerial photograph of the site within the wider area. So it's just behind that, the main street of Tandragee. And the next one, please. So this is an aerial photograph of the site. That's my plotting of the red line. It is a bit shaky, but it will give you an idea as to the full extent of the site. Obviously, the access to Madden Road is all not going to be developed. It's just the top part in behind Market Street itself. Next slide, please. So this is taken from the access point looking in. So this is the site. As you can see, it's bounded by walls to either side and is laid in gravel at the moment. The next slide, please. So this is taken just slightly further back. So this is the entrance into it. It's flanked by concrete walls and that large fencing. And then this is the access lane that leads down to the back of the amenity site, which you can just see to the left of the photograph there. Next slide, please. So this is taken slightly further down that lane. If you head along the lane to the left, you're taken back up to the site. And if you go round the bend and head down to where my car's parked, that's taking you back down towards Madden Road, and the amenity site is on the left. Next slide, please. So this is taken from the existing frontage from Market Street. So our application site is located to the rear of the properties along the front there, and I've taken that photograph deliberately with the wee alleyway to the centre, because that alley is the one that was referred to by the objectors. As you can see, it's a gated entrance, and if we go to the next slide, that's the entrance leading on through. Now the proposal actually proposes a timber fence along the side of the application site, so access can no longer be gained through here. In the early version of the proposal, a pedestrian access was proposed through here, but that has been removed. Next slide, please. And this is our proposed layout with the 2 commercial units, the parking, and this also indicates the fence and the gate and the bin enclosure details. Next slide, please. That's our elevations and floor plans. And there should be one more. That's our location of objectors. As I say, there were 5 objectors from 3 addresses. All of them were adjacent to the gated access that I showed in an earlier slide. And that's me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Trudy, for the report and presentation. Members, over to yourselves. Any questions in relation to this application? Okay, I have no indication. Members, to move to the debate stage. Any comments? Again, no comments on that, members. Members, this is an application for a decision item, so can I have a proposal from the floor and where we're going to go with this? Councillor Duffy.
I'll propose the officer's recommendation, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Duffy and Councillor Moutry.
Yes, thank you, Chair. Yes, happy to second that we accept the officer's recommendation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, members. Members, are we all in agreement in relation to this application? Yes, nodding heads. Okay. Okay, members. We'll go proposed by Councillor Duffy and seconded by Councillor Moutry. We accept the proposal in front of us. Members, that is us. Yes, we are. That is us. Yes, I know. As I've been politely informed, it's not going to be like this going forward. We've had 2 nice black swans in a row, and it probably won't last too much longer. Ease back into it is right. So, just I want to thank IT team for their work, planners, our member services and senior officers for all their help today, and for our legal advice as well. So, members, safe home. It's very icy outside. Drive safe, and we'll see you all next month. Thank you.